Welcome to Sit and Listen. This one's called America is Going Bananas. A little while ago, I wrote that we need a hero, but I think what we really need is a psychiatrist, not a hero. America is not racist, unkind, or a nasty society that relishes on the inequalities and genocide of the weak. It's boneheaded, or perhaps a sign of social insanity, to accuse the US of being racist, unfair, and that you should choose to go to Mexico, Antigua, or Quito for a better place to live. USA versus Mexico? I don't think so. What's wrong with America is not racism or any other stupid social shortcoming. What's really wrong with the USA is that it's losing its mind. America is going mad. Its populace is going insane, and societies lose their minds in both a similar and in a different way than individuals. At certain nodes, they both are easily recognizable. For example, your Uncle Benny suddenly tells you that next week he's going on vacation with his wife Betty, but you know that his wife is dead because 10 years ago you went to her funeral. Well, the same is happening with the American people. Just like your Uncle Benny, they're going to meet John F. Kennedy and John F. Kennedy Jr. Well, they're both dead. One died on November 22nd, 1963, and the other died on July 16, 1999. It's crazy. CNET News reported that on Monday, November 22nd, a group of QAnon believers remain at Dealey Plaza in Dallas, the site of the president's assassination almost 60 years ago today. They're awaiting the return of his son, John F. Kennedy Jr., in the hopes that he will turn over the presidency to former President Donald Trump. While this is all part of the QAnon conspiracy theory that continues to thrive, even though the claims made are bogus, these are clearly acts of insanity by both the individual and by the group. But there's other acts that aren't so overt. But if you step back, you can see the breakdown of the group's mental health. We often miss them because they look like acts of kindness or acts of social justice, but they're not. They're all acts of cultural and social lunacy. For example, people fighting against discrimination or inequality. This may seem a noble thing to do, but it's actually insanity. Why? Because discrimination is a normal human feeling, and to fight against natural emotion is stupid. You just can't get rid of them by wishing them away. You need laws. You cannot fight normal human emotions. You can't simply say, "No, I will become a better person." Negative human emotions aren't fought with an invitation or with honor systems. The antidote to human malice is our court system, our system of laws, strict, honest, and fair laws. And these laws must be impartial and enforced on anyone who breaks them, regardless of your skin color, your religion, or your money. What people are doing to America is nothing short of gaslighting. By definition, to gaslight means to use psychological means to question someone's sanity. American sanity is being questioned. These groups have nothing in their sights but the destruction of American values and American culture, and we shouldn't let them. America is not an abstract thought or entity. America is the sum of real human beings, and human beings, by definition, are racist. We have the right and the choice not to like whites, blacks, Hispanics, or Asians. If you just think for a moment, you'd realize how insane the idea is. We don't marry the first person we see. We're not apes or gorillas in an estrous cycle. We choose who to marry. We discriminate one person from another. This is how you stay attractive and faithful to each other. To aim to eliminate racism is to send the entire society into a spin. Why? Because it's impossible and stupid. The real problem is how this social insanity is being weaponized by politicians and greedy, evil people. They repackage this craziness into social justice and manipulate the masses to control votes and to amass great wealth, while at the same time gaining influence and power. To Kill a Mockingbird, Atticus gives us the answer. But in this country, our courts are the great levelers, and in our courts, all men are created equal. And guess what? The United States courts are one of the fairest courts in the world. In fact, the American society, the American system, is one of the most robust in the world. Here's another example of how the US isn't racist. Just do a simple Google search for who are the mayors of every city in the United States, and you'll find the majority of them are black. Not only that, but the heads of many boards of education are black. America is not racist. America is insane. Insanity creates division, confusion, and murder. We should stand against insanity. And why is insanity a tool for social disruption? Because reason isn't enough to create demand. For example, it's reasonable to expect to get into a university if you score high on an entrance exam. Only the insane could expect to get into Yale just because you're black or Hispanic. Why not get into college because you're skinny and have big boobs? I mean, why not? And they get into Harvard because the people who are running the school have gone mad or are threatened by madness. See, reason has limitations. Reason is not elastic. Reason is not always enough to snatch power, influence, or money. By the way, this is the basis for all Ponzi schemes. Logic alone can't bring investors to this financial scam. If you want to attract investors to this fraud, you must appeal to their insanity. Only the insane lose money in Ponzi schemes. Only demented people could be convinced that they can make 16% gains on their investment. Only the crazy can hope and actually get into Harvard because they're black or Hispanic. Only the insane can conceive of the idea that they can score low on an entrance exam and get into an Ivy League school. And you know what the real crazy thing is? They do get in. They get in. They get in, and you and I will pay the consequences. These people will become doctors, lawyers, and dentists, and they will treat you, your daughter, your son, your mother with poor treatment and mediocre services. But it can get worse, much worse. Right now, getting a dummy who made it into law school or medical school because he or she was a minority can be by chance. However, if this lunacy continues, then why would anyone take a test? Why would any student work and study hard to get a good grade when a blue or a green student can just simply get in without studying? Perhaps all students will decide not to study hard, and maybe all students that apply to medical school will simply get in because a number of applicants have been met. Students getting into medical schools because of quotas and not IQ. Well, when this happens, every doctor or lawyer you meet will be a dummy, and this can be detrimental to society. Insanity has been part of Americans so long that we no longer can tell the difference between philosophy, ideology, sanity, and loopiness. I tell you, it's all nuttiness. Nothing you hear is about justice, health, or freedom. Reason no longer serves American society. Insanity is the only thing that increases demand in a world that has become so saturated with technology, greed, and production. We need to fight against insanity, and the way we do it is by questioning and testing every idea, every protest that goes on in our society. And when they don't originate from a logical source, we must not allow them to infiltrate our social psyche and turn us all crazy. And why should you listen to me? Because it'll make you happier.